V is the type of person who would describe herself as quiet but capable, a woman whose success was hard-fought and well-earned. She's caring and compassionate, but like many of us, she often sees the world around her, the people around her, through a lens of sound bites and statistics. These days, it takes something unique yet familiar to break us away from ourselves and to truly see each other with compassionate eyes. Not everything is as powerless as it seems. The artifacts of our daily routines can capture a celebration, a power struggle, a story.
I've managed to find some independence through my routine of cleaning and caring for my apartment. It makes it mine, not part of my parents' house or a chore I'm obligated to do, but an empowering choice.
V's good friend Georgia is unlike her in many ways, but they've always felt open to discussing personal matters. As V is telling her this uplifting story, she can't help but notice how different that feels from her own experience. The story of independence is not the only one to be told. A second and quite different story tells of a person who gave up their career to care for their young family, spending their days cooking and cleaning, only to look back years later with many joyous memories, as well as feelings of regret and longing. This reveals a new dimension. This same object is also one of sacrifice. These stories are unique, human, and sometimes difficult to absorb. Who do you think wrote the story? How sure are you? What values do you think they have? V immediately thinks of her two daughters who recently moved away to college. She thinks of the joy of helping them shop for their basic household items and the pain of her now quiet and empty house. Georgia remembers her grandfather, a kind-hearted man who labored endless hours creating the life and legacy for which she is so grateful. Each have assumptions. Each have biases. Neither have an answer. Yet they discuss it, they debate it, and perhaps for the first time in their friendship, they embrace talking about issues of politics, injustice, bias, and power. Anchored by a familiar object, these issues are humanized. They're not ambiguous or nebulous. They're real, just like us. None of the stories V encountered were the same. No two expressed the same feelings or thoughts, yet they all had something undeniable to them. They were personal and raw and understandable, even when they weren't relatable. Every time we see, use, or ignore the everyday objects around us, we become a part of their stories. We reinforce their meaning, and we contribute to that power. But we can begin to challenge singular visions of authority, value, and significance by realizing that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as our own, filled with their own ambitions, friends, routines, and worries. By connecting with our friends, neighbors, and our family members, and by sharing the stories and objects which embody our unique lived experience, together we develop and cultivate a collective sense of Sonder.